Hello, welcome to When Nice Guys Retaliate. Today's random thought is about the Black Lives Matter movement versus the Black Lives Matter organization. Black Lives Matter movement is a united voice of the black community, which is saying, hey, I'm a human being just like you. But when will I have the same respect as the Spanish man? When will I have the same respect as the Asian man? When will I have the same respect as other people who've been in this country and are called Americans? When will America see that I can be the possible hero and not just be a consistent thug or a sexual deviant? We have fought and died for this country just like everybody else. But why are we still being viewed with less rights than even a dog? Media and stereotypes have mostly shown the world reasons to devalue the black community. Absentee fathers, angry black women, black men as gangsters, thugs, black men in prison, even rioting is a stereotype. But so is protesting in the black community. That said, rioting is just a symptom of the reality we occasionally face and the evidence of blindness and the deafness of some people in the community. It is also the evidence of past atrocities for which no justice has been served. However, rioting just gives races another reason to despise us more, in my opinion. So I don't think we should riot. But just like cancer, no one really knows what you're going through or how you feel about it until they have to take on that battle for themselves. On the other hand, media has shown some reasons to the world to value the black community. But even that road has proven to be difficult, filled with betrayal, and is unattainable for the most in the black community. Some examples of success would be, we have musical artists, like such as rappers. We also have people who are good at sports and excelling at sports. But I do believe there is some confusion about the Black Lives Matter movement and the Black Lives Matter and the Black Lives Matter organization. And yes, to me, I believe there is a difference. The Black Lives Matter organization is a political movement that is not universal in the black community, in my opinion. However, I believe it's part of the larger Black Lives Matter movement. But it makes me wonder if the Black Lives Matter organization is using the Black Lives Matter movement to push more of the LGBTQ plus community agenda. And I think it overly represents the LGBTQ community and does not provide complete representation of the other groups based on my interpretation of the Black Lives Matter organization's website, their beliefs. Based on this, I believe the agendas should not be equal in the fight for black lives. Even though I believe we're dealing with the same thing, it's just a mutual respect. But as far as the Black Lives Matter movement, that is talking about everybody, period. It shouldn't be singling out a single group in the black community. And to me right now, the Black Lives Matter organization is singling out certain groups above other groups. Even though it's under the guise that is for everybody, it doesn't seem like it, at least right now to me. If it is, I think y'all need to change your statement and your beliefs to say that. Also, I think the LGBTQ community appears to have a lot more power and protection than the black community, at least at large. And based on this, I feel it's really unfair for that agenda to be mixed in with the Black Lives Matter banner. I guess you could say that you were black before you could actually say LGBTQ plus. So, because I believe politically the LGBTQ plus community also may be used to kind of silence the black community, because it's a minority group, and the best way of silencing a minority group is with another minority group, I think. Or at least I think that may be the agenda for some people in the media or in the larger schemes of things. So that's another issue I have with it. I also think it's the LGBTQ plus community is also being used to silence the church as well, and the church is part of the black community. While it's not indicative of the whole community, I don't believe the LGBTQ community is respecting of the Christian community, which is part of the black community, as well as other belief systems, at least at this point. But that being said, I think we need to establish mutual respect between that community, the black community, really just every community. In addition, I believe the beliefs of the Black Lives Matter organization are actually damaging the message and the success of the Black Lives Matter movement, because they're trying to use it to also battle the LGBTQ agenda, which I think is controversial right now, and is more controversial than actually the Black Lives Matter movement, which I think is actually doing more harm than it actually is good. But that's a different story. I have to do another different video on that. But for this situation, the Black Lives Matter movement should have the loudest voice, but it seems the message is also often viewed through the eyes of the Black Lives Matter organization. That said, I believe we need leadership for the Black Lives Matter movement, of which the Black Lives Matter organization should be a part of, to include black businesses, black church, black police, black government, black military, you name it. We should have some type of representation there for the different groups, that are affected by race and other things. But that being said, I would say this shouldn't just be in effect for just this particular movement. The Black Lives Matter movement, while we have all this representation, should also be used to actually help build up the black community, such as in eradicating poverty, professionalism, single parenting, education, mentorship, and other things. But it should be a place of power, and even a place maybe that the government or other groups can come to, and we can even support each other and just become more unified as a nation. Because really, the less unified we are, the more vulnerable we are to other countries, to attacks, and you name it. And as of right now, I think there, governments like Russia and China, I believe they are actually fanning flames to cause dissension. They didn't start the fire, they're just fanning the flames. And I think we need to be aware of that as well as a country, not just Black America. So, this has been Random Thoughts with When the Night Skies Retaliate. So, if you agree or disagree or have a better idea for making a Black Lives Matter movement more effective, let us know in the comments. Like, comments, and subscribe, and hope you have a